It wasn't until I bought a motorcycle that I found out that adrenaline is brown. Had that same vein of humor. Didn't go for a ride today. I don't feel real good. Been kind of stomach tore up for the last 4 days or so. So anyway, instead I thought what I'd do is sit here and listen to a stupid washing machine run all morning. What I thought I'd do instead today is install this cool little doodad. And what it is a USB port. And you tie it into the battery directly. And the idea is that you can plug in your GPS device or phone. For me it'd be phone. I use my phone as my GPS. So the thing is, it kind of eats batteries when you're out in the back country or even just around town, but thought it'd be really cool to be able to do that. Show you what I'm going to do here. So before we get going here, I just want to go over the tools that you'll need real quick. To do it, the 4mm Allen is going to be important for the side cover on the driver's side. This is a 3/16 Allen. This is important for the Allen screw on the battery mount bracket. Zip ties, too small zip ties, no bueno. Too big of a zip tie, also equally not as good. An adequately sized zip tie to go around. These are a bit long, but they'll work. You'll need cutters, side cutters, or dikes as we call them here in the States. You'll need dikes for tightening the zip ties, and the ever elusive 10mm socket. We're going to need that. That's the only hex head or standard fastener that we have in size. They're all going to be 10mm, and then a good Phillips head screwdriver. If I could find a long one, I would, but I can't because the boys used them and did something with them. I don't know what. Anyway, those are the tools we're going to need. Let's go do it. So yeah, what I'm thinking of doing is installing the rest of that and going up underneath the tank and just coming out here. And I found that this goes underneath this really nicely. Oh, what's going on, John? What'd you do wrong? I'm doing something wrong. I was just playing with this, and oh, you know what? Not there. Maybe it was here. Yeah, this goes right here. Pretty good. And if I use dual lock to stick that, it'll be underneath those cables, and then this can just go up. No, I had it underneath there. I'm pretty certain it was underneath this cable. I'm doing something wrong now. Yeah, like that. It doesn't cover the VIN number or anything where you can't see it. And yeah, that'll just go like that. And then I'll come back up. Oops. What I'm thinking, I still haven't really fleshed this out entirely. Fleshed it out. Yeah, that was what I did. I'll just take this and whoop, go up underneath the tank like that. And I can use dual lock to hold that too. And the cable's pretty much going to hold it in place is what I'm thinking. Yeah, that thing can just go up there like that. And then this little plug will be up underneath the tank. And then this wire will come back and I'll get into the battery compartment. And I'm thinking that'll be pretty handy. I can pop that thing off, or I can close it back down. Right now it should be watertight for like road grime stuff, but I don't ride in the rain that much anyway. Let's see, this will, oh yeah, that'll more than reach. That reaches clear into the back. So all I got to do is, it looks like, lift the tank off a little and run this underneath there and mount that. Too cool. So anyway, this is what I got. It's a Trackside Quality Motor Products. I'm not familiar with them in any way, shape, or form. So obviously we'll have to do a follow-up on if this works or not. I got this at Cycle Gear. I like Cycle Gear. They have pretty decent stuff for not that much, and they're affiliated with Revzilla now, and I've got a lot of stuff through Revzilla too. So I like Revzilla. I like their brand. I like their product. I like their company. I like the way they do things. I've always liked Cycle Gear pretty good because I operate on a budget. Oh man, that's why you're watching this through a smartphone instead of a $5,000 SLR or whatever. Anyway, well, let's go see about what it takes to get the tank off. We'll do what we got to do there. Kick that seat out of the way. Where's my key? It's in the ignition. Put this off and set it aside without scuffing it up. Pull this little button here, and that cable releases this deal here. Let's see, we're gonna take the tool bag out. You can see where one of the things Brent has the guys do at Adventure Center is they install one of these whenever they sell a bike. So I think that's pretty cool. It looks like this has to come off, and that's part of the frame. Yep, it's welded. So this little pouch thing is going to come off. This is also where I keep my that little bag with the paper that you saw there. Hopefully I don't have to blur that in editing. That's my license registration stuff, or insurance and registration. My license is always on me. Set that aside. These look like, I don't know, they look like 10 millimeter to me. Oh my gosh, look at that. Let's abuse some torque wrenches. I'm kidding, of course. These are a good reference guide at the house. They're not calibrated. I'm not going to pay to have them calibrated. I don't beat the hell out of them or abuse them. I had a comment on another video about abusing them, and I'll say this. I was in charge of making sure that all of the instruments in a manufacturing facility were calibrated properly. So every year or every 2 years, depending on what the requirement was for the tools, we had to have them calibrated. So I had to schedule the guys to come in and then make them available for them. And the thing is none of the torque wrenches, and they got used daily, and they got abused, some of them, because some of the guys weren't really, well, nobody was massively abusive to their stuff, but some of that stuff did get used pretty hard. Guys were pretty good about it. I never really had any problems. But anyway, none of the torque wrenches were ever out of calibration. Let's let this go by. None of the torque wrenches were ever out of calibration, so I've only ever seen one. I've only ever seen one that was questionable, and when it was checked, it wasn't out of spec or anything. So it looks like this doodah slips into there, but honestly, I don't feel a need to take it apart any further than that. I'm just going to set that to the side. Now that kind of gives me access to the battery terminals. I wish that was on there properly. These things are annoying though, you know? These little boots. And if the thing was designed right, you don't really need them. Anyway. Alright, so what's hanging that up right there is this add-on of this thing. That's the problem there. It's just kind of in the way. So, I'll tell you what I am seeing. Sam came over last weekend, I think it was, and we rode out to the range, and he rode this bike because his bike was broke down. And what it turned out being was the mount for the grounding wires on the entire harness was broken, and I am seeing the same bit of kit on this that I saw in his hand when he brought that over. So it was broken right here between this flat and where it's actually crimped onto the wires. So I'm seeing that on my bike. I'm okay, well, not the coolest thing in the world there, but it's there. So now, if I'm not mistaken, I can pop this loose and just pull the battery out a little bit, but I am kind of curious as to how to get that other panel off. And I'm going to throw a shout out again for you guys. I don't know why I keep having to, I don't have to say this, you know this. I'm not supported by anything here. This is just a hobby for me, shooting these videos. So and there's 180 some of you now, so if you're subbed, I thank you. That's pretty cool. I'm not making any money off that. I just really think it's cool that I'm having a good time making these goofy videos, and you guys are enjoying them enough to sub and watch them. So anyway, like, he needs a shout out from me. It's not helping him in any way, shape, or form. He's got lots of views and viewers, but if you're watching me and you haven't found oh, I wrote his name down here, Fillingham, Stuart Fillingham, I think. Anyways, it's down there in the bottom in the doobly-doo. Yeah, go check his channel out. He's got one of these bikes. He's got a couple of Royal Enfields. He's got that Royal Enfield Interceptor. He's doing all kinds of modifications to it. So I will not lie, that was not the first try, but the fourth. Let's see. Oh, somebody's cooking something, and it smells good. There's that screw. I'll set it down here with the other ones. Let's me and you come over here. See how this works. Yeah. I believe it's a push-in deal, yeah, on the back there and down there. Oh, cool, that just slides in on the bottom, shoop, and then this little deal, oops, sorry, this little deal here pops into there, and then this has got that screw that screws into that little metal tab. So, oh wow, these are two pieces. And it's still got factory junk in it. That's two pieces. This is actually metal down here, and this is plastic. Check that out, huh? How strange is that? Well, you also see on this side, and that's why he was doing it on his video, you see the air intake, the air filters in there. I have not seen an exhaust that I like yet. I have not seen an exhaust that I like yet. I've seen one, the S&S is making one in conjunction with Royal Enfield that I think is interesting, and I kind of like it. I like that it's lighter and it's got more flow through. I like that it's not massively louder. I don't like a loud exhaust. If I go that one, I'm going to change this out to the DNA filter that he features in the video that I linked below. Oh God, excuse me. I mentioned I haven't been feeling good. Anyway, that's where your air intake is. These are little cube relays, it looks like. Oh man, that is solid in there. And it looks to me from this side like if I pop that bungee off of that battery, it's just going to slide out real easy. It looks like the wires are set up for it to come out. So let's go see if that's the case. So I've just about wore out the dual lock on this tripod, and I dropped you. Sorry about that. We got it fixed now though. So this is nice. They put this little tab here. Hopefully you can see that real good. Put this little tab here so you can pull down, and the little thing comes off the latch. I could get you in there closer, but I'm just not going to. A little more work that I want to do is put that there, and let's just give this. Oh, you know what? That is in the way, and I'm hoping that is the same size as that one up there. Of course it's not. Why would they do that? Oh, that was first try. I'm not even going to edit that out, just so you can see that that was the first try. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Oh man, put that down there. It's the little bit bigger one. I like that. That's a solid mount. It's not going to just flop around and go anywhere, you know. To be honest, I'm looking at this. What is this? You have no clue what that is. I know what this is. What's this? I bet that's the breather for the... Yeah, I'm following that down. Goes down here, underneath. Oh, it's the breather for the charcoal canister. I'll tell you something. I was wondering about that. These are supposed to be Euro 4 compliant, and I don't see a charcoal canister anywhere on this bike. I see it now. It's down underneath where you can't see it. I like that a lot. That if I got a Bullet 500 or a Classic 500, that was something that I looked at. It'd be like one of the first things to go. Is I would take that charcoal canister for the fuel tank breather off. Well, it would be heavily altered and remounted somewhere else. Let's put it like that. All right, I'm going to set that down there with the other fasteners. And this should... Oh, look at that. Hi, Miss Kitty. She come to see me. You come to see me, have you? Oh, you were a good cat. Ah, you come to see me. The inside cats don't like it when I make voices. Let's see, can it go a little bit? That honestly, that positive wire is the one that's hanging me up there. So too cool. There we go. I think what I'll do is I'll bet that's 10mm too. Let's check it. You boys in India there building these bikes, you did good with all this 10mm. Except for us Americans, seem to, if internet tales are of any consequence, us American guys seem to have a problem keeping a hold or track of our 10mm sockets. Not me. I know where all my 10mm are, but whatever. Anyway, I appreciate all that 10mm, but one size could fit all here too. Just saying. If I was going to complain about something, that'd probably be it. All right, and I'm looking at this, and I think Oh yeah, I'm gonna let that battery sit there for a little bit, and I'm gonna move you again. There you go, different angle. So once again, guys in India winning with this 10mm stuff. I love it. I wish you did that everywhere. 10mm, 8mm, and 12mm. What else do you need? It looks like this should pivot up at least a little bit. And we'll have to be really careful. We'll have to be really careful not to damage fuel lines here. All right, I'm setting these fasteners down here with the rest of these, and it's come up a little. See where we're at. Oh, look at all that! Look at all of that. I'm gonna grab something to prop that up a bit. Something solid but soft. I don't want to scratch anything. Let's see if this will work. I don't know if I'd come up that high. No, we'll do this. It looks like that's about it, guys. And yeah, that is a box of empty 7.62 NATO cases. And if you're one of the people who thinks I should shut up about politics and that kind of stuff scares you, then you know, I don't blame if you tune out right now. That's cool. I'm good with that. Have fun somewhere else. Let's see. What did I do with that? Oh, it's right here, goofy. So what we gotta do is not disturb anything too much. And what I want to do is come up here I think what I'm going to do is zip tie it to the frame. But I'm seeing a couple other things here. My throttle control, I could zip tie it to that, but I don't really want to impede that or hinder it in any way. Ow! I put that key in my back pocket. That hurt. To honest, that genuinely was not comfortable. Oh, let's put that back in there. Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah, I think, guys, I think that's the thing to do right there. Now, here's the deal. I could lift that tank completely off of there, but the problem with that is I have to disconnect a bunch of stuff that I really just don't want to disconnect. So I think maybe I can come back a little without damaging anything here. Be really careful. I don't want to hurt this. Does that give me more room? Yes, it does. All right. And I said 7.62 NATO. It's technically it's 308, but whatever. Come for the motorcycle, stay for the guns. We're gonna go up in here. Oh, see, that's gonna be a pain in the backside. Up in here and try to go around. Problem is the wires have been folded so long that they're predisposed to bending. And I need them to go straight and go in where I want them to go. Come on, we're almost there. We're almost there. Come on, baby. You can do it. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Now there's a little cup. If you're not familiar with motorcycle tanks, there's a little cup that's a flat piece of metal welded to the tank. It's part of the tank. And then there's two round deals mounted to the frame right here. I'm not going to pull that any further to get it out there, but if I can find some pictures online here, I'll roll them in. And what that does is that cup sits there, and then the tank rotates down and bolts down, and that's what holds it in place. So. Oh man, got some big nasty gnarly spider trying to set up house in my front wheel brake. We'll have to deal with that. All right, to the zip ties. Grab myself 2 or 3 zip ties here. Boop. Now we're gonna plug this in just like that. Oh, you know what? I freaking forgot. First thing we want to do is come in like this, right? Oh yeah. We're gonna mount it right there just like that. So that's far enough away from everything. So, speaking of grabbing tools, now I found mounting it here too, I can, let's see if I can do this without knocking you over. I can go full lock, and that does not interfere with that in any way, shape, or form. Nor will the USB cable going up to power the device, whatever the device is, probably this phone. All right, be right back, guys. Hard edit. I do get my super manly scissors, but now I can't find my dual lock. Oh, yep, it's right in front of me. Ain't that the way it goes? It's right in front of me. So if you guys aren't familiar with this product, you haven't been paying attention, or you just didn't watch that video, I don't know. It's this 3M dual lock. It comes in one. It comes in one strip, or actually, when you order it from this Amazon supplier, it comes in 2 strips. But that's just so you have twice as much, and it sticks to itself like that. So another shout out to Tyler at Everride for turning me on to that. Not personally, he tied us all into that when he made a video about how he mounts his cameras and stuff. I went down to the hardware store, and after I watched this video, I bought 2 lengths of aluminum flat bar, and I started mounting my cameras exactly that way. Another one that does it that way is Shade Tree Surgeon, and he uses duct tape to double down, which I thought was a crack up, but he's not wrong. You know, those cameras are not cheap. Those little just like that. We're gonna cut that to the right size. Those little Sony action cams, GoPros, whatever it is you're using, that stuff's not cheap. Now I buy mine on Amazon as refurbished. This last one I got had some footage from what appeared to be a Tokyo coffee shop. So it didn't come with a lot of accessories. It only came with the camera and a battery, and whatever was wrong with it, they fixed it and sold it secondhand to me. So that's how that's going to mount there. Boop. That is not lightening up so you can see what I'm talking about. That is aggravating. Like that. I can make it do it. You can do it. So that's how that's going to do. And then I'm going to cut off of the same roll. I'm going to cut another bit. Yes. The same size, maybe just a touch bigger. Give myself some wiggle rooms. And then I'm just going to pop that in there like that. There we go. Now that will be removable. Like I said, I really don't see... honestly, I don't think the dual lock's necessary the way that's laying in there with that, but I don't like stuff flopping around. Some part of this has a picture of how these work. They're really cool. Whoever came up with this, man, I'll tell you. No picture there. Nope, no picture there. Well, you look at it online, there's a picture of how it works. Really cool. Really cool stuff. I use it for a lot of things. If you one-time fasten it, it'll last forever. If you are constantly popping it on and off, it wears out a little bit quicker, but it's cheap, you know, for what you're getting out of it. It's really cheap, and yeah, that's the thing. Really cheap. I like really cheap. Okay, I'm gonna get this under here like this. Make sure it's lined up once again the way we want it. That should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. I'm not quite ready to... So, just kind of getting a visual reference, looking at my cues. I'm going to peel the stickum off of this. Probably should have cleaned that spot just a little bit better than I did, but that's all right. There we go. Yeah, that's on there. Now, I could use the holes that exist there, and I could mount this with screws. And I think that would be a little more permanent. The problem is, being as all modern electronics are made in China, there's nothing permanent about electronics. The other problem is I haven't even tested this, so hopefully it works. Let's plug that in there now. And then we will pull this on through. Oh, no. I screwed up. See, that's me not paying attention to what I'm doing. I wanted to go, if you remember right, underneath these two cables. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll do that. And we'll go ahead and give that a light tug. Oh, gotta go up more. That's the problem. So we'll just do that. That should be good. Those will go back down like they are. There we go. That should be good. Yeah, really, if I was smart, I would test this thing before running it in there and doing it. Matter of fact, before I hard mount that tank, we're going to test it. And I am planning on sticking with my original plan of running this. Oh, I probably should have done that with the other side, huh? No, we can get it. A couple of cables and stuff that go through here too. Makes it hard to do this. I should have run the other. Yeah, you can see that. Should have run the other side through here. It would have been easier, but it's all in there now. I'm not gonna. Well, I might have to if I want to come down through here like that. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Those, I believe, are high pressure fuel lines. If I'm not mistaken, I should be able to bypass that there. And then that's like Colonel Cooper said, if you're not cheating, your tactics suck. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. We'll zip tie this to here once. Here. Let's do that now. Excuse me, guys. I know that's rude, but like I said, I'm feeling good lately. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're going to do one in there too before I tighten this other one too much. Feels like I should be able, if you take these and just pull them real hard, they kind of take a bit of a hook. Yeah, and then you can do this stuff without. More hook, more hook. Yeah, like that maybe. Let's see. Thing is, I don't want to pinch anything else. Oh yeah, that's way over there. More hook, more hook. Yeah, that's maybe too much hook. Too much hook. Mr. Smith! Just kidding. Thing is that's going to be underneath the gas tank. You can't see it. So I just got to clip the excess off and you'll never know that's there. Let's go ahead and do this one too. I'll pull that tight from that other zip tie. Gross. Yeah, something on that. What I really need is one of these to roll that tight. And then if you put the flat side down, a little clip. Roll that back over here. That's kind of difficult because it's pretty tight. Alright, I'm going to put that down. Oh, yeah. I don't think that's going to reach in there that way without screwing something else up. Yeah, it's not. We need side cutters. I don't like using those wheel nose like that. These are the junky little tools that I have here at home. Oh man, don't scratch the fuel tank up. There, part. Alright, slide it up. Out it goes. And that's a little scuff that's not scratched. That's good. There's between scuffed and scratched. Scuffed is the paint has a mark in it. Scratched is I can see the metal that was underneath the paint. So let's push this back up here. Oh yeah, that's just gorgeous. I mean, flip that thing off of there. That's kind of close, but that'll work. Let's put it back. Too cool. Now we just see if it actually works. Hopefully it's not a piece of junk. That's everything up front done, zip tied all the way back to here. Like I said, I really hope this thing works and isn't a pile of junk, because that's a lot of work to do and find out that it is not going to be cool. Let's see what amp. That is a 7.5 amp fuse. That's an odd. Anyway, I went and used a little boy's room. Made myself my favorite non-alcoholic beverage, sweet tea. And now I'm ready to go again. I have with me my Noco. So that was a 7.5. This is a 10 amp fuse. That's how I remembered it. So I have with me this. These are kind of big, but I kind of have to live with that. So we'll get those mounted. Let's get this focused on that. We're going to mount those thusly, and I'll tell you, I'm seeing this one's mounted on top of the bracket thing. This one's mounted on the bottom. I don't care for that. So I like uniformity. I like uniformity. So we're going to remove this. We're going to add this. And we're going to get this wired up too while we're at it. As a matter of fact, because these are big and flimsy looking, they will go underneath. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to go underneath that, flat to that. So, all right, let's get started. Let's do this part next. I'm going to, you know, I sure hope I don't lose all my information in my tripometers. I didn't think about that till just this moment. Keys off, so that's fine. I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to do them one at a time, guys. Get that off of there. That's completely off. And it came completely off. And get these two things here. Where's the other one? What'd you do, John? There you go. So I'm gonna, there's a natural, let's see if you can see this. There is a natural way that goes, and I want to make sure that they oppose each other. We don't want it in a bind like this. We want it to be like that. First, we gotta get this back up here. Come on, boo boo, what you doing, man? You need to fight with me like that. Alright, we stick this down there like that. Get that started again. I'll tell you something that I am really liking here, that I see, that is kind of a thing. All of your negatives ground to the frame. And if you touch your negative to your positive, you'll short your battery out in pretty short order. I am going to bring that over like this. I'm going to straighten it. As I tighten this, I want it to lock down in a straight line. And then when I come over here, I'm going to stop short. I don't want the wire rubbing on the positive, and that's where we're talking about shorting. If you touch the negative to the positive right now, it'll short. Oh, come on. Oh, there you are. That 10 millimeters trying to get away. No wonder people have so many problems with them. I don't want to. You have to. Oh, that's right. You will now. And then I got to make sure too that that's straight. I don't want that in a weird angle. And these are, guys, some of this is just aesthetics that are in my mind's eye that I will never see again, or not until I go to replace this battery. And that's tight. That's like almost too tight. Talk about over tightening. So it doesn't have to, that glass is broken and it's weeping out of its downside. You can see that. That's terrible. Alright. Gonna have to drink that tea a little faster than I thought. Alright, now this is where we could lose our program and stuff. Everything I'm seeing online too is the ECU on this bike is a learning ECU. It learns how you want to drive. It learns how you want to go. Before I loosen that completely, I am going to do the same here. I want the down against the down so that I have a nice even. Now on this one, I think what I'm going to do is mirror that. I can already see that's wanting to. There shouldn't be a load on this, so it shouldn't be sparking or anything. Oh, yeah, alright, we're going to take this out. And that's this doodad done. We don't need that no more. So, like I said, I want this on top. I want my accessory stuff on top. I can fight with the accessory stuff. I doubt we're going to have to fight very much with that main bracket. I can see changing accessories out for failures. Like I say, this stuff isn't, you know, of the highest quality. Let's see. Yeah, it started. Good deal. Look at you. So handsome, so handsome. Ooh, we're going to have to go like this. That is not what I wanted to do. But to make this easier, I'm going to go ahead and put that down, bring this out, and push the battery back in just a little bit, because this going in is fighting with me a bit. And I don't want to fight. We want copacetic. Everybody get along. That started a bit of a bear. Come on, baby. Don't fight with me. Don't fight with me. Oh, okay, I see. Alright. That's the problem right there. So I was going to tell you something I see that I like, and then I forgot to talk about it. The positive terminal is on the side that you're pulling it out, so there's less likely, as you fighting with this, there's less likely of a chance that you're going to brush against the frame trying to get everything tight. Yeah, little things like that can mean a big difference sometimes. So what I'm looking at here is this nut is not wanting to line up with its hole. I have to be really careful not to touch the positive terminal and the frame at the same time. Oh my gosh. What it is there's just enough slop in this, oh no, I guess there's not. Why are you fighting with me like, oh, come on now. Make sure that the thread's okay. Yeah. Thread's good. What's happening, as far as I can tell, yeah, the nut is falling back because that's at a slant like that. Now that I don't care for. That I don't care for. That is not good engineering. Let's find these again. Get them positioned the way I want them. And here, not jiggle the battery and cause that thing to, oh, did I get it? Oh, did I get it? Yeah, I got it. Just perch it correctly, and alright, these are going to come down here. This is going to go like this. I don't care for that. There's not a lot I can do about it, guys. It's gonna have to set like that. I can't do that. So, whoops, these come up just a touch, and that goes under. Matter of fact, let's do that. It can just go under all of them. Now we're not pinching our wires. I like that better. Okay. So, with this again, straight. This is aesthetics that I'll never actually see, but except for in my mind's eye. 90-degree angles. Kind of back to tighten. Now I gotta be careful not to touch the frame of the bike. I got my finger between the two. Oh, and almost too much. It's good. What we don't want is the stupid thing coming loose, right? Alright, let's come back up with this just like we did the black one. See if we can get it in there. Of course not. I'm gonna pry that out just a little bit. Yeah, that's the problem. It's too tight. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, that's so cute. So hopefully you can see that. That's like that now. And it's on top of the rubber strap. So, yeah, back in with you. Back in with you, mate. I got nothing to hook onto. Oh, no. Oh, that's right. You stay down. All right. Before I get that all the way in there, I think what we need to do is see if the Dealy Bob works. Now, a problem that I do have with this is I'm not running this through the ignition, so it's on all the time. But let's set this down here. Huh?
I said sorry.
You were fine until you started talking. Kidding, you're fine anyway. Mama, say hi to YouTube.
Hi.
You gotta come over this side. Okay, you need that. I hope you're in frame there. And did we plug it in right? Oh yeah, look at that. God, I hope I didn't lose my tripometers. Nope. Trip A is 60 miles. Trip B is 1398.8 on this service. And the odometer is 1,707 miles. I don't quite have 2,000 on this. Well, to be fair, I put 300 miles on that in the last 2 weeks. So, all right, we don't need this on for this, but what you're gonna do is plug that into there. It's a USB.
There is something at the top on it.
There you go. And does your phone charge?
Yes.
Sweet.
My phone is charging.
So phone's charging. So now I can run a USB cable up and around and however I want and have my device here and charge it. And that was the point. Thanks, Mom. They say take the tension off that. That goes in a little bit better. A little bit easier, I should say. Let's say something real quick about batteries that I said in that other video where I talked about that charger a little bit more. I really am a fan of these AGM batteries. If you're still rocking a lead acid battery in your motorcycle, I hope it's simply just for the economy of it. These AGM batteries have a greater energy density typically than your lead acid batteries, and they are a lot more forgiving. Again, almost over tightened. Yeah, they're a lot more forgiving if you discharge them too far down. If you let them die, in other words, they're a lot more forgiving. You can actually bring an AGM battery back with a heavy-duty trickle charger in enough time. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm tempted to run this inside of this bracket here. Well, it looks like the boys are home. Let's do this. There we go. That's that battery in there solid again. Considering the way this mounts, I think what I'm going to do, I want these out where I can get at them. You know what I mean? Get out of the way. So I think what I'm going to do is leave them here. And I'm really glad that they labeled the NOCO one. Let's get this. You can separate those. I don't know if you guys knew that. So yeah, I kind of want that to be there so that they're accessible. I was thinking of using dual lock to stick them together and stick them there, but I don't think that's necessary. I think if I just zip tie these wires together here, they can just sit there. I think that's going to be fine. So let's zip tie them real quick. That's her mom bringing the kids back. Boys went and did a project. Oh yeah, see that's backwards. We want that like that. And separate those just a little bit. Bring these down. If I give that a little bit of room, that'll give me a little bit of, but it'll keep them together. And then we'll go flopping around. Let's do another zip tie here. Oh, come on. So yeah, that's Oma bringing the boys back. They're over at their grandparents' house doing a sprinkler repair. They were able to get by with just the boys. They didn't need me for that. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was really cool, actually. I think it's really cool that the boys know how to do that kind of stuff. I think it's important that boys know how to do that kind of stuff. Alright. I'm tempted to go into that bracket with that, but honestly, I kind of don't want to. I don't want the wire impeding the operation of anything else, if that makes sense. Well, I'll tell you what, I think I'm just going to leave that tucked up inside, and I'll tell you why. It's not that much to stick the key in and open this and stick that out, you know, and leave it hanging there, or just set it on the seat and plug this in. And I've been riding this bike so much that I really just don't think that's an issue. I don't think I'm going to need the charger that often, to be honest. This will actually just go in there. I don't have to. That's where it's nice to have that boot. I've brushed that 2 or 3 times just now, not realizing what I was doing there. stick it between those two things so that it's just kind of not got to bind on it or going to bind on anything else. What I'm going to do is stay true to my theme there and come all the way over and untwist that and just kind of get it between those two. There we go. Yeah, it looks like it belongs there, you know it? Which is a good thing, because it does now. Yeah, get over that. Right like that. Yeah. This can just go, I guess, like that. We'll see in a minute if that's going to be feasible, huh? So, I need 1, 2, 3 10mm sockets. Oops, don't do that. Well, I'll tell you what else I could very easily. That's fine. I actually like this. I don't like them hanging out. I think they look goofy when they're flopping around somewhere, you know. I mean, it's not a serious issue. It's just, to me, it looks kind of funny. And then we need that one here. Slide that out, and is everything going to be copacetic? Yay, look at that. Now, it seems to me like I've got some junk in the way of my locking mechanism. Is that the case? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So all of this needs to get tucked up in here just a little bit better. Yeah, I should do it. Now, you know what? I never saw that. This is metal. Oh, sorry, guys. This is metal, and this is plastic, just like on the other side. I learned another thing today. So I'm just going to tuck this all up, especially this, a little bit further up. Stick that up there like that. There we go. That's better. And then this can go up in here. Actually, I'll tell you what. Now that I'm looking at it, I think it's possible that that might be even better. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Let's see how that works. No. There we go. Nice. Not in a bind or anything. That is just going to work out. And like you say, it's not flopping out. I think that's cleaner. I think that looks a little bit better. That's not what I was going to do. I was going to have it hanging out. But now the thing is I could go undo that and I could have it out here. But seeing that that thing won't tuck in like the other one, I can't put it back in there where you can't see it. So that kind of pushes me to do it this way. And if I'm going to park it and plug it in, it's not going to plug into anybody else's battery charger but mine, because it's that odd one. It's that Noco thing that nobody else probably has. If I'm going to do that, it's going to be here at the garage, so I don't need the thing flopping out, you know, where you can see it. So it's actually is not something I would have considered, but I actually like it better, believe it or not. So partially driven by laziness. I don't want to undo that battery again, but mostly necessity being the mother of invention. in this case, my necessity to foster my laziness and not want to undo that battery again. I actually like this. I'm kind of glad that happened that way, because I would have had it out here and not too cool. So these are a two-piece thing. Little ferrule that goes in the rubber, and then the bolt, machine screw. So that's a deal. Stick that back in there. Get that started by hand because we don't want to strip it. And do that times 2. And that's all lined up, and I can see that everything's where it needs to be. So we're good. Everything is righteous. It's copacetic. Tight. Oh, don't do that. Did it? Didn't even scuff it. I'll tell you what, I'm seeing that for the first time right here. I'll get you a picture here you can see up close where the seat is rubbing on the tank. And doing the painting just a little bit. That's one thing I've noticed on this bike is all of the painted surfaces, the paint is a little bit soft. I think that's a thing you just have to live with these days. And I'll tell you why. This is the absolute last fastener and the wrench that goes to it. And if you remember right, it slips down in here. There we go. And that's not, that fastener is not pinching this between the female part that's already there. The female part is in this plate, so you're actually screwing it into the plate. That's kind of cool. Should bring it up to it. Rock solid. Too cool. Put the seat back on, huh? That's the nice thing, you have to have this panel off to take the seat off. You don't have to have it off to put it back on. So there it is, all said and done. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love it. And I don't have that thing flopped out. Too cool. So there you go. That's that. Done and dusted. Everything's good. I'm stoked. Finally got that done. Like I said, I just didn't feel good today, and I haven't for about 3 or 4 days now. I'm starting to feels like I'm coming out of it, but I just didn't feel like going today. I wanted to. I mean, you know, the spirit's willing, but the flesh is weak. I wanted to go, but I just didn't feel up to it. So. ¿Qué pasó?